And in a few minutes, we will be talking to my friend and soon to be your friend, Jenny. And we're going to be talking about our African American culture versus Australian culture. Jenny, how's everything doing right now? You all right?
Hey, what's up, people? It's all
Okay.
good.
Is that music too loud for you?
Mm-mm. Oh, perfect.
Music too loud?
Nope, all
Okay,
good.
cool. Okay, we're gonna get into the interlude. We're gonna get into the discussion and talk about the culture of Australia, life down under, and everything what it's like to be blind and technology, and touch on a lot of stuff before the internet. Because sometimes the internet usually acts up, and we don't want that. Because you have a nice voice, nice accent, and we want to hear everything that you say. So with that being said, let me do my interlude. Welcome. Oh, before I forget, the music has been provided to you by SOV Music, and the name of the song is called No Time. So, with that being said, welcome to Third Eye Visions, where we motivate the blind, stimulate your mind, and welcome all kind. Today's topic: America versus Australian culture. I have someone from down under who is going to help me out, Jenny. Uh, Please, y'all, subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you can get updates. Like and share and comment. Let me know what you like, what you want to see more of on Third Eye Visions. So, Jenny, welcome to Third Eye Visions.
Thank you so much for having me.
She's a big fan of the show, and for her to come in sounding like that,
Mhm.
I'm very disappointed. I'm gonna give her another chance. Jenny, welcome to Third Eye Visions.
Thank you so much for having me.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Tell us, how long have you been living in Australia, and what part of Australia do you live in? What don't answer the second part because I want to guess. But tell us, how long have you been living in Australia?
So I was born in Australia. So
Get a
my
little
whole
louder,
life.
louder.
I was born in Australia. Okay, so I was born in a state called Melbourne,
Yep.
but I moved up here when I was 7 years old to Queensland, the sunny state of Queensland, the best state in Australia.
Okay.
Beautiful weather.
Where is Melbourne, Australia, as it relates to Sydney? I really know. I'm learning something along with y'all today.
Okay. All right. So from me, I'm in Queensland. So just to give you an idea, Sydney is 1 hour plane away and Melbourne is 2 hours. So Sydney to Melbourne is an hour flight. Yeah.
One of my, and I'll be talking to some of my followers, loyal followers. They want to know, is it about eight o'clock over there? Tell them what time it is over there.
About 8:30 in the morning.
Okay.
8:30 a.m. on Wednesday.
8:30 on Wednesday. So you already know what's happening already because you beat us to it,
Oh
right?
no, you want to let it? You want to know the lotto numbers? I'll hit you up. I'll give you the lotto
Look,
numbers.
George, she said you want to know the lottery numbers. Let her know. Oh, by the way, George, let me know if this music is too loud. How much do you know about American culture, considering the fact that you've been living in Australia your whole life, right?
Yes, my whole life. Yeah.
And how much do you know about American culture?
Not a lot. Over the years, I've had, I have a very, very good friend of mine who lives in America, so I'm learning a lot from him.
Okay.
But in general, not a lot, to be honest. But yeah, I learn a lot from him and his beautiful wife, so I'm learning a lot from them.
I love,
But
I
in
love,
general,
I love your accent, girl, for real. So
thank you.
feel free. We're just gonna bounce different cultures off each other today. So feel free to ask me anything you want about my culture, and I'll tell you no lie. I'm gonna tell you straightforward. So whatever you want to know right now today, I'll let you know. But before we go any further, let's speak on how it is as a blind person living in Australia. First, before we do that, how long have you been blind? Did I ask you that question? Because I'm so excited. I probably did.
No, no. So just let me just real quick. I'll
Take your
give
time.
you
You look, we got about an
the
hour.
quick
I want you
version.
to relax,
Okay.
take your time,
All
and
right. Well, so at the age of 3.5, I was diagnosed with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. And that's an autoimmune disease that attacks my whole body. So
okay.
the reason why we moved from Melbourne to Queensland is because Melbourne is extremely cold, and its arthritis doesn't like the cold. So my dad decided, and my mum has really bad asthma, so he decided to move us up to a warmer climate. Back then, surgeries and things like that wasn't great. So they gave me cortisone for the arthritis, and I developed cataracts, and I had the glasses. And back then, they didn't just do cataract surgery; they took your whole lenses out. So from pretty much 3.5, whatever, I had no lenses in my eye, so I always wore glasses. Anyway, cut long story short, the arthritis pretty much in the end took my eyesight. So I have a condition called uveitis, uveitis, and that is arthritis of the eye. So it eventually took my eyesight from arthritis. These days, medication is a lot better, a lot better. So you don't go blind from juvenile rheumatoid arthritis anymore. Unfortunately, I was just born in the wrong era. So that's what took my eyesight in the end. I've had a lot of surgeries. I've had vitrectomies. I've had cornea transplants. I've had laser. I've had the whole kit and caboodle to save it. But alas, to no avail. In 2012, in July, I lost my vision. So there was the last surgery I had, and the day my world changed forever. So when I went in, I had the surgery a couple of weeks later. I went in for a follow-up, and the doctor just came in and said, "I'm so sorry." He said, "We thought it may have helped, but it didn't." And that was it. And I was pretty much, my world ended right there for me at that point. Because up until that point, I had hope, because they'd always given me a surgery to try or this to try. And that was my last hope. And so when they said that was it, well, that was it for me. So I just left the office speechless, in tears. I was numb. I was numb for probably a good year. I didn't speak to anyone. I wouldn't speak. I physically couldn't speak. So, I mean, my family would call, and I physically, literally could not answer the phone. I couldn't physically, no words would come out of my mouth. So I was about like that for about 6 months. And then I started, sort of speaking like a robot. Like I was numb. I was literally numb, for probably about 1.5 years, until I started to, slowly come out with counseling. But yeah, that first year was a blur, an absolute blur. I don't remember doing anything. Like I literally pretty much get up out of my bed, make coffee, go back to bed and sleep, because my theory was, if anyone can see, you can see during the daytime more than you can see at night. So my theory was, I don't want to be awake during the day, so I take sleeping tablets to sleep all day, because I'd rather be awake at night, because my thinking was, well, you know what, people don't really see a lot at night anyways, so I don't mind being awake at night because it's dark anyway. That was my brain telling me that. So yeah. I just slept all day.
How long did you do this?
Probably about 6 months or more. I just couldn't face the world being awake during the day. I just couldn't. I didn't want to be awake during the day, because you hear the birds and you hear people awake in cars and all that sort of stuff. Or everyone's getting ready to go to work, and I wanted nothing. I didn't want no bar of it. So as soon as I'd be awake during the night, and then come morning time when my husband would leave for work, I'd be like, yeah, well, no, I don't want to be awake for this. So I just go back to sleep, because I didn't want to face it. I didn't want to face the fact that I couldn't see in the world that I'm supposed to be seeing right now during the day. And that was hard, very hard. So I just slept. I just wanted to sleep and sleep and sleep, because I couldn't face it. Like I'm supposed to see right now, and I couldn't. So I just cut myself off.
I don't know. So okay, is it hard to talk about it right now? I mean,
now.
No,
not anymore.
So what eventually brought you out your quote unquote I'm gonna just use the word slump for lack of better words, until to you realizing that I'm gonna accept this and deal with it and move on from it. What brought you out of it?
Well, for a long time, I have there's a place over here called Guide Dogs, and I was starting to see. I had seen her before. We had oh, you know what, the timeline's so out of whack, I can't remember. But basically, she was a counsellor from Guide Dogs, and I managed to actually, my mum was the one that said she needs some counselling. She reached out, and then I'm like, you know what, because I wasn't ready. Like, first of all, I wasn't ready, and secondly, I physically couldn't actually speak.
Mm.
So reached out, and we finally started talking. She would come to see me once, actually probably about maybe 2 times a week. She'd come to my house, and most of the vocabulary that came out of me was tears. I couldn't say the blind word, so I knew I was blind, but my counsellor and I would call it the B word because I wasn't ready to say it. She said, you know what, that's fine. We'll just call it the B word because you're not ready to say it. You say it when you're ready to say it. So for a long time, like probably about 2 years maybe, I couldn't say the blind word. I couldn't say I was blind. I'm like, I'm the B word. I couldn't say it. I just wasn't ready to accept it.
Okay.
So she helped me a lot. And gradually, it took a long time. It was probably about, a good 6 months of solid counselling for me to start anyway a resemblance of being human.
Wow. Now, before I go further, someone had just wanted me to ask you, after your surgery, how long was it before you had lost your sight again?
Which, the last surgery?
Yeah.
The last surgery, okay, so let's go back a little bit. The year before that, but the year before my last surgery in July, my vision was pretty much non-existent. I'd had a cornea transplant. My vision was very, very, very foggy, very foggy. Like, yes, I could see the sun. I mean, like that it was daylight. I could see shadows, but maybe I'd say about 3 months before my last surgery, I lost the ability to see shadows. So I couldn't even see my hand moving in front of my face. So that's why we thought, well, we'll do the cornea transplant. So I did the cornea transplant on a Wednesday. They thought my retina had detached. That was a 2-hour surgery. So it took about an hour and a half to cut away some scar tissue before he could even get to the cornea because of that much scar tissue built up. So it took him an hour and a half to get rid of that before he could even try to put the cornea on. So then he did that. And then 2 days later, I was back in surgery because my retina had detached. That's when they tried to fix it. I was awake for that surgery, by the way, obviously out, but I heard everything they did. I heard the drilling, I heard the scissors, I heard the cuts, and then it was the most fascinating thing I've ever been awake for in my life. I heard everything that they did, and it was fascinating to me. It was just the most, I was so glad that I was awake for it because I heard, he's like, scissors, drill. Like, this is so cool.
Mm.
And
Hello. We are speaking. Okay, go
are you
take.
there? Sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry, just wait 1 second. My mum's trying to call me.
Okay.
No, that's all right. That's all right. I'll just let her call. That's okay. All right, we're okay. So
we're speaking with Jenny.
So,
go ahead.
Sorry. All right.
We're not gonna make it long.
So basically, okay. Anyway, so basically, I had that surgery, and then, like he said to me, we think we've done something. We've cut some of the retina, but we think we're good. Anyway, and then 2 weeks later, I came back, and they said that was it. All the scar tissue that he'd cut, because in that last surgery, it was a 2.5-hour operation, and he was cutting so much scar tissue. And then 2 weeks later, all the scar tissue that he'd cut had grown back plus more. So literally 2 weeks after my last surgery, he said that was it.
Okay. Wow, man. So, I mean, not trying to just belittle what has happened and whatnot, because I know your mom is calling. I know maybe hope it's not immersive, but we want to also talk.
No. It's not. It's all good.
So as far as you've gotten older and everything. What is the life? What is it like for a person who is visually impaired or totally blind in Australia? I mean, tell us about the technology, what's offered, what's not offered. Braille.
Yeah, well, I don't do Braille. I hate Braille. Bleh.
You don't read Braille. You don't read Braille at all.
No. I felt these dots. I'm like, what's this Braille thing look like? So I'm like pressing these dots, and I'm feeling these dots. I'm like, yeah, these dots aren't for me. Sorry, no, I never got into Braille. When I lost my vision, so I used to have a Nokia phone because I'd had enough vision, obviously, to read my text messages. Nokia was the only one that would read a text out to me. So when they become pretty much non-existent, I'm like, well, what am I going to do? And obviously the iPhone came out. They're brilliant, blah, blah, blah. And I knew nothing about a touchscreen. Never had a touchscreen in my life. And the iPhone was my lifesaver. So my iPhone was my gateway to the world.
iPhone, definitely. I mean, it took me a
I
while.
couldn't live without it. I could, like, honestly, it took me about, sorry to cut you off, 2 days for me to learn my iPhone. And I was like, are you kidding me? I was so excited. My husband set up my Facebook, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good to go. This is so good. I was so excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, is this what Facebook is? Woohoo! Emails and messages, and it was just, that was like the beginning of, like, me actually communicating with the world,
Mhm.
as opposed to technology. Technology here is really good. I mean, we are way behind you guys. That is a fact. 100% that is a fact. We are way, way behind you guys.
Really?
Yes, yes, you guys are way more advanced than what we have.
Just off,
Like what you
off,
guys have, we'll have
yeah,
like a year later.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Off the tip of your, tip of your tongue. What do you all don't have that America has? Like,
I think we have the same things. I just think we have it later. Like, obviously, iPhones now come out at the same time. I get that, but I'm talking about just better TVs, better, just a lot of stuff that, like my husband always says to me. He said, "Man, we are so far behind." Like an 80-inch TV, you guys probably had for like however long. That's something new, not new for us now, but the sizes of TVs, and things like that is a main thing I find. I'm like, what? You guys have had that for like how long now? And it's like, it's just starting to come out here. So we're way behind in that, I find. But as far as technology, I think we're pretty good. I think we're pretty even now. It was slow to start, but now I think, especially with iPhone being as accessible as I would like to be, it's now catching up. I think we're pretty good. And technology over here is just, it is amazing. A couple of things you guys might have that we can't get over here, but it's catching up.
mhm. Okay. So, but all in all, without the cell phone, you probably would have been like sort of lost, considering the fact that you don't read braille or anything like that, though, right?
Yep. My iPhone literally was my eyes to the world.
So, but braille over
That's
there.
it's as simple as I can put it. No, I've never
Wait.
liked braille. No, I've
Okay.
never wanted to try. I felt the dots and I'm like, yeah, nah, not for me. Sorry, that's another B word I don't like. Braille, not for
Oh,
me.
okay. All right. Now, what about jobs and things of that nature? Are there a lot of blind people that are employed over there, or is it hard to get jobs, or what's
No,
what's the situation?
yeah, no, no. So over here, before I lost my vision and had the company not have closed down, I would have still been working for them. So I had vision when I first started that job. I was a box maker. So I worked in a pie factory for, I mean, I have had jobs in the past, but that was my last job. I was there for almost 8 years. So I was there predominantly their box maker. So we'd make pies by the thousands, and I'd make the cardboard boxes that the pies go into. They wanted to get a machine to see if they could, be quicker. I was faster than the machine. So I'd be making thousands of boxes a day. I was really quick. So had that company not have closed, I probably still would have had a job working there. But ever since that, I've been with disability agencies and stuff. And pretty much this is how I put it to you, real easy. You're the too hard basket. Sorry,
Say it
simple
again.
as that.
Say it again.
You're in the too hard basket. Oh, let's do this and let's do this and we'll try this for you and we'll try this for you. But in the end, it's like, you know what? You're blind. You're too hard to get a job for. And that's as simple as it is over here. And I think a lot of it is because the way of the world, I don't use a computer. I don't know how to use a computer. iPhone, iPad, that's it. I could get lessons, but to be honest with you, I don't really, it's too hard. What a sighted person can do with one click, a blind person has to do with 3 commands. It just does my head in.
Uh,
So a lot of
yeah.
jobs are on computers. So
Uh-huh.
mm,
So,
um,
do you think employees or employers or they don't want to hire blind people
no,
or hire people
no.
who are visually impaired simply because they have an impairment? Do
Yeah.
they? Okay.
Yeah,
What's
I
like that over
honestly
here?
do that. And I think honestly though, I think a lot of it is to do with health and safety as well. You're too much of a liability or something could happen and they don't want to get sued. Do you know what I mean? I think
Wait,
that's a big
say
part
it
of it.
again. Say it again.
I think a lot of people are scared because of health and safety. So they'd be like, you know what, you could really hurt yourself. I don't want to take the risk.
Wow. What is
But
something?
my husband, right, we own our own business. We've got our own joinery business. He had a worker there. So it just depends. You can get a really nice, compassionate person that will take the risk on you or take a chance on you. My husband had a completely deaf person, which is one of his best employees, working on a machine. And I'm talking machine, I'm talking a machine that cuts and edges and all that to timber. And he couldn't hear a thing. And he was his best worker. And he
See,
was really sad when this guy had left. And
that's
he
the
was
same.
completely deaf, completely deaf. And he loved, my husband said that was my best worker. And it was really sad to see him go. But, my husband's compassionate like that. He will give someone a chance.
That's what I'm talking about.
But
That's all we looking for over in the United States.
exactly,
Just allow us a
exactly,
chance,
yeah.
because like I have a college degree and I have yet to use it, but I'm in different agencies, and they try to find some type of job placement, but it's extremely hard over here as well. So, what about like canes, y'all? People who are visually impaired, they use canes to travel, like the white canes or guide
Yep,
dogs.
yep.
What's most?
So I don't have a guide dog. I could get a guide dog, but my dog just recently passed away about 3 weeks ago.
Uh,
She was my life. So she was a very jealous dog. And she's like, I think she'd be like, what's this guide dog coming in my house? This is my house, bitches. So
oh,
I wasn't ready. I wasn't really ready. I think the main reason that I didn't want a guide dog is because I know I could travel independently if I really chose to.
oh,
And I've got a lot of help to do that, like mobility training and all that. I don't like to be anywhere on my own. That's just not me. I
mm,
like to be with people. Even though I do all my shopping online, everything I do, I get delivered. But if I want to go out, just to grab something, I want to be with people. I like to have a coffee with my mum or my friends. I don't, so I didn't really feel the need to have a guide dog. A cane, though, the first time I was given a cane, I'm like, I'm not touching that thing because I
mm,
wasn't ready to admit the fact that I was blind.
uh, I've heard
But
other people.
when I embrace it, I'm like, yeah, this is so cool. And I'm like, get out of my way, get out of my way. I'll freaking knock you out with my cane. I loved it. I've got a couple that I've, dressed up with stickers from my football team and all that sort of stuff. So I'm not opposed to using a cane, not anymore.
Okay. So before I move further, one of the viewers wanted to ask is if Braille is even encouraged over there in Australia.
Yeah, it is. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, yep. No, it's all fun. It depends. I mean, we're given the options. You choose what route you want to go. So, we've got the Braille computers. I mean, the keyboards, and everything is available to us in Braille. A lot of people do use it, and I actually was given a statistics. Like my husband was asking, how many people do use Braille? And she said, you know what? Not as many as you think. It used to be quite popular, but now I think that technology is a lot better. People tend to just shy away from the Braille a little bit. Some people still use it. Again, I think it's just a personal preference.
Okay.
iPhone or Samsung, Braille or not Braille. I've just never been one to get into it, to be honest. It's just never really interested me. So yeah,
Okay.
but no, it's encouraged and it's whatever. Yeah,
Okay. They also want to know about transportation. How is transportation for blind people over there?
it's fine. I mean, we have like you guys have, we have Uber. We have, I guess you guys call it Lyft. We have Ola, and a lot of other places over here. If you have a taxi, so we use taxis over here. So you call it, I guess, cabs. We have a program where your taxi fare up to the value of $50 is half. So if I was traveling somewhere that cost me $50, only with the taxi though, all the other independent companies, you have to pay full price. But with a taxi, I get half price up to the value of $50. So if I was going somewhere that was costing me 50, it would cost me $25 to get there.
Right.
So it's pretty good. We've got a pretty good system here, buses and all that. Yeah, it's good. Like we ride free on the bus,
Mm.
trains, trams, all free. And we also have a companion card. So whoever comes with me gets on for free.
Okay. Yeah.
Not the taxi, but yeah.
The bus. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're gonna come back to the blindness, but I want to touch on a few more things before we close. Tell us, give us like two facts about Australia that we don't know of, because I've always heard when people mention Australia, mention the koala bears, kangaroo, down under. Um,
Mm-hmm.
what's the guy's name who was Steve Earle?
Steve Owen, that's
Yeah,
my boy.
and I love
Mm-hmm.
the accents and stuff. But what two? Give us like three facts about Australia that we don't know of.
Wow. Oh, that's tough. That's tough, because Off the top, you know what? I don't really know. I mean,
That's okay.
Australia, gosh, well, okay, so Australia is a very big country and predominantly is mostly desert. It's mostly
Okay.
just
Or
like the
that's the
middle,
fact that
the
I didn't know
main,
that. I didn't know that.
so the
Yeah.
middle of Australia is a lot of just dirt.
Okay.
Like the middle
So
of Australia. So we're obviously the states are on the outer edges, and in the middle is just dirt. I mean, you can
so
travel. There's towns, but yeah.
so was your country was your where you live affected by I think it was some wildfires that were set like last year?
Oh yes. So, oh yeah. Oh, big time. Very, very bad. When we get that was devastating. So that was in was it Melbourne, I think, or Sydney?
Okay.
I can't remember. When we get like we've been flooded, and my house has been flooded. Not my house, but when we had flash floods, my whole backyard, because I've got a massive, huge backyard. I live on the water. So
Okay.
our whole backyard was literally just, I mean, you could just throw out a fishing line from my pool and you'd hit water. It was that bad. It was knee deep. So when we get flash flooding, we get big time floods.
Okay.
And the fires were, that fire that we recently had was the most devastating fires we've had in a
Yeah,
long
we heard
time.
about it.
Like,
So
it was bad.
yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Well, one of the guys I just asked or if there are any advocacy organizations over there,
Advocacy for what?
like um like for the blind, any type of organizations
Oh,
and
heaps. And it's getting better. It's getting a lot better. So way back when, there was like agencies out there, but now they're just coming out of everywhere. Like I honestly think my personal opinion is that visually impaired people and blind people are getting a voice around the
great.
world. I honestly do believe it's really picking up. And, once upon a time you'd hear about this or this or this. Now it's just everywhere. So I think whoever's like every little corner of the world, that are advocating for blindness or low vision help or support, I
Mhm.
think it's growing. I honestly do feel that we're getting a voice. It's slow, but I think it's speeding up quite amazing. I've noticed it, to be honest with you. Like I've just noticed on Facebook and on the news. I think we're getting a voice. I think we're
Okay.
starting to get a voice.
Great. That's
Yeah.
great. And what type of government does Australia have over there?
We have a prime minister. It's all right. I mean, I honestly, politics for me is something that I don't get into because A, I don't understand it.
Mhm.
B, I don't want to understand it, and C, it's a bunch of shit. We've
Straight up.
had twice in the last few years that we will obviously vote in a prime minister, and maybe halfway through their term, they're voted out and someone else comes in. I'm like, well, hang on a minute. We didn't vote for you. We
Right.
voted for him. And now you guys amongst yourselves, like a bunch of little kids in a playground, have just decided that, no, you're out now. So we'll just what's the point in us voting then? They'll do whatever they want. And it's like
Right.
America. It is like America. Same thing. You
Trust.
guys can vote for whoever, but you know what? The government don't listen to us. They do whatever they want anyways.
That's so true. Even over here, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's believe me, I can go on and on about that. But
Same. Yeah.
you have any questions in reference to America's culture or life or anything like that that you want to ask me? You feel free to you
No,
want to know.
really. I mean, well, no, because, just talking to you guys, especially in the group, like our group is so good. This is the best group I've been a part of, like our Life Without Sight. Yeah, Life Without Sight, bring it on. Best group I've been in to date. I feel really comfortable in this group. And you guys, I've met some amazing people in this group, and I'm learning a lot from you guys. I really am. Just by what you guys say, but just your everyday posts. I've learned so much from this group than I have, period. And that's why I love this group so much, because I'm learning so much from all of you, like literally about America, about Canada, about everywhere.
Well, that's true too. There's a guy just posted. He said that in America they have the native Indians, and in Australia they have the Aboriginal. Am I saying it right? The Aboriginal.
Aboriginals? Yep.
Tell
Aboriginals, yeah.
briefly, just tell me a little bit about that because he brought it up. I want to know about it.
So Aboriginals, okay, so it's a touchy subject over here. Aboriginals, like I'm assuming, I don't know much about the Native Americans, to be honest, but I think it's probably the same concept. Whites come over here and took over our land. That's how the Aboriginals think. So we have a like Australia Day over here. It's the 26th of January.
Mm.
The Aboriginals come out in force all the time. It's like we don't believe it. Australia Day should be banned. You know, it's basically just reminds us every year that you invaded our country and took our land. So the Aboriginals, and I agree, you know, to be honest, I do believe that. Like, I do think that they were treated unfairly. I don't know too much about it. But you know, for them, it's a very touchy subject. A lot of things are very touchy because they feel that, you know, we just come and took their land. We took their children. We took their land. We took everything that was theirs first. We just come over and just invaded and just said, "This is ours now. Sorry, see you later. You have no rights."
Okay, well, that's all. Yeah, you don't have to go to. We'll come back and touch on that because I didn't want to turn into that. But I'm glad to call the guy commented on that because I didn't know anything about that. So, so the cultural makeup of Australia is mostly what? White.
Yes, it is. Yeah. I mean, predominantly, we're a very diverse country, though. Like, we do have, obviously, yeah, we have a lot of people, a lot of Asians here, a lot of Asians, a lot of Kiwis, which is from New Zealand. So New Zealand, my husband, just so everybody knows, my husband's a Kiwi, love him to bits, and we call New Zealand like our cousins, so to speak. So they're like our Australian cousins. They're virtually a 3-hour plane flight away.
Mm-hmm.
That's where my husband was born. That's who I'm married to. And to be honest with you, I don't know if I'm biased or not, but like Kiwis, so people from New Zealand, we have a lot of them over here. And they are the most beautiful, most heartfelt, family-orientated people you'll ever meet in your life.
Okay, what
They're
about
just amazing people.
what about African Americans? Because of course I am a black man. So you have what's the
Well, you know what? To be honest, mate, I'm assuming, but I guess now I can't really tell because. But I think we have our fair share. I'm assuming, but I don't think it's overly popular. I mean, I honestly couldn't even. To be honest with you, tell you the truth on that. But we have it like in Melbourne and Sydney, we have a lot of Italians, a lot of Greeks, a lot of Lebanese. It's multicultural down there, so we call them. I'm not going to say this is derogatory because I'm a wog. My parents were born in Egypt, so I'm from Egyptian descent.
Okay.
And I'm a wog. That's what we call us. We're called wogs. So Greeks, Italians, and you know, Lebanese, Egyptians, all that sort of stuff. There's a lot of those down south.
Okay.
But predominantly in Queensland, a lot of Kiwis.
Okay.
A lot of people
before I move further, Chris wanted me to tell you, good day, Mike. He wanted to tell Chris Williams. He's in the group.
G'day, mate. Don't ever ask him to do an Australian accent. Don't ever ask him to do an Australian accent. It's
so what's the native language of the most of the people in Australia? Is it
Australian? Yeah,
Australian?
just speak English.
Yep,
English.
Okay.
Yep.
And give the type of food. What's the most popular dish over there? Like people like, man, I love because over here like people like they love hamburgers, they love lasagna.
I love your food.
Yeah, I do.
Oh my gosh, I want to move to America just for the food. Seriously.
What's the favorite? What's the most popular dish over there in Australia?
You know what? There's so many to choose, but I think everyone these days is becoming fancy pants. Let's go for some sushi, or you know, let's go for some. At the moment, dumplings are huge. Asian fusion, teriyaki, lots of those places. But you know what? Everything's becoming really diverse now. So we're embracing like Arabic, well not Arabic, but like what do I call it? Kebabs. But predominantly fish and chips, burgers, you know, barbecues are huge. Barbecues are huge.
So, what was that again?
Barbecues.
Okay.
We love our barbecues. So Aussies and barbecues are a match made in heaven. We just love our barbecues. Barbecues and beer.
Yeah, well, I'm a fan of beer, definitely. But let's see. With the weather, like you know, in down here in America, when it's summertime, it's like real hot, mostly in the southern region. They get into like the triple digits and whatnot summertime, and we rarely get any winter in the south. But on the East Coast, you know, they get a lot like snowstorms and things like that. What's the temperatures and weather like in Australia? Considering the fact that you say it's all desert, what's it like up there?
So Queensland is the best state to live in. Okay, so like I said, in Melbourne, which is 2-hour flight away, you can get rain, hail, wind and sun in one day.
Wow.
In Queensland, however, you won't really get a winter. Okay. Um, our weather in Queensland is just gorgeous 24/7. In winter, it might get chilly and it does get cold, but for the most part, we might get maybe a good 2 weeks of what I consider cold. I'm a wuss though. I'm cold.
Mm.
Chris will testify I'm a wuss, but I'm cold. I get cold, but predominantly you won't get any. I mean, cold days. You could literally shorts and t-shirts all year round.
Oh, I'm coming up there.
Maybe, yeah, I know, right? Yeah, feel free. I'm like, everyone's coming over. Yeah. Come over and I'll cook you a barbecue.
Oh, that'll work then.
Mhm.
One of the guys wanted to know is the boomerang really a weapon? I guess he heard it
Not a
somewhere.
weapon. It's not a weapon. It's real. It is real. So you've got a boomerang and like you'll throw it and it'll come back to you. So yeah, it is. It's not a weapon. I don't think we use it as a weapon. It's more
For
of a.
those who
It's an
don't know what
Aboriginal culture.
for those who don't know what it is, I know what it is. Describe or tell them what briefly.
Okay, so it's virtually maybe kind of like it's primarily obviously timber, and it's sort of like a semicircle, I
Right,
guess.
right. That's it.
Maybe a little bit wider than a semicircle.
Mm.
And it's just obviously not so. Yeah, half a circle. Timber sort of goes around, and you obviously just have it in your left, or if you're left or right-handed, you just hold it and you just like flick it like a frisbee. So you'll just like fling it like a frisbee,
Mm.
and it. Well, I'm assuming. I think normally
Comes back to you.
you'll flick it and it'll come back to you. Mm-hmm.
So
But it's
what?
real. It's real.
So it's basically used as is it like for like just they use it for like playtime or just during just like
You know what? I couldn't even answer that because it isn't. It is predominantly an Aboriginal culture. I couldn't even tell you
Mm.
exactly what they used it for. But all I know is that yeah, I'd even have to Google that. There you go. Look at that. I got some homework.
Mhm.
Mm.
Okay. Well, anything else that you would like us to know about? Because I thought Australia was a continent. I guess I was ignorant to that fact because I
Our
knew.
country.
Okay. Anything else that you
Yep.
want us to know? Because I really appreciate your time. I appreciate the support for Third Eye Visions. And before I forget, you all, while she's thinking of something good to say, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Third Eye Visions / Anthony, and you definitely will get more exciting movies, videos, and things of that nature. I really encourage you all. Those who have been doing it, I appreciate it.
Do it.
Thanks a lot. So, as,
So basically, like I was saying to you, my backyard is huge, massive.
wait, say it again because I was typing. Say it again. Hello.
So, oh, hang on a second.
There you
Shut
go.
up in a second. Here we go.
Go ahead.
One second. That's all right. Okay, there we go. So, just one real quick before we go. My backyard is huge, and we will get the odd kangaroo hopping around our backyard.
What
Just
about
so
the
you know.
kangaroos?
They hop around our backyard.
So you've witnessed this?
Yes, I have photos.
Have you
My
ever?
husband took photos.
Have you ever ridden one?
No, ridden? No. They won't let you come near them.
Oh, really? They probably kick the heck out of you, huh?
They'll smack you out. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's basically like I think if you got in a box, if a kangaroo and Mike Tyson were in a boxing ring, the kangaroo will win hands down.
And I'm quite sure. And koala bears, are they popular over there as well?
Yes, very popular. Yeah, they're gorgeous. So you can go a few places. We have a theme park called Dream World. There's a lot of places you can go to hold them.
Okay. Well, this is what I need you to do. I need you to send me a koala bear for my little boy, some barbecue beer, and what else I need from over there? You all's temperature. I mean, weather. And
Oh, nice. Yep, I'll bottle that up. Yep, it's on a package. I'll send it to you soon.
I really appreciate your time and what have you coming on and sharing this. I'm glad we finally got it together because you want one of my biggest supporters. Please, keep on supporting. If there's anything else I can do, if you want to come back, you're welcome to do so and whatnot. Any final?
I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you so much for allowing me to be on your show. I really appreciate it. You're amazing. Keep doing you because you're amazing.
Thank you. So you make me feel like I'm somebody, girl. But this is your show. I'm doing it for you all, and I love working for you all. And I'm glad to know that this is reaching out all over the world. So again, thanks for subscribing and viewing Jenny's video on Third Eye Visions, where we motivate the blind, stimulate your mind, and welcome all kind. I'm about to go and get me a beer, and I guess that's it, y'all.
Cheers.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
All right.
Bye.